If you've ever taken probiotics and felt worse, maybe you felt more bloated, more gassy, had headaches or brain fog, or you just felt terrible afterwards, you probably thought to yourself, wait, aren't these supposed to help me? And then start wondering if something's wrong with you or think that gut healing just doesn't work for your body. But here's the truth. If probiotics are making you feel worse, you're not broken. Your body is giving you some really important information. And today I'm going to explain exactly what's happening, why it happens, and what you should do instead. I'm Sierra and I'm a functional medicine certified coach. I healed my own gut and thyroid issues naturally, and I'm currently pursuing my Doctor of Functional Medicine degree. I created this channel to share what I'm learning as I learn it. So you're not getting this from some guru on a pedestal, you're learning alongside me as I go deeper into this work. I'm also the founder of The Aligned Feminine, a community designed to help women heal their gut and hormones naturally from the inside out. Inside, we walk through the complete 5R framework for gut healing and provide guidance on supplements along with discounts on practitioner-grade supplements. I'll share more about that at the end. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand the 7 reasons probiotics can backfire. You're going to learn how to tell which one applies to you based on your symptoms. And you're going to know exactly what to do instead so you can actually heal your gut without making things worse. Because here's what most people don't realize. Probiotics are incredible tools, but they're not always the right tool for everyone at every stage of healing. And that nuance matters. The wellness industry has made probiotics seem like a universal fix for everything. Gut health is everything, just take probiotics. And don't get me wrong, for most people, probiotics can be an easy add and a quick fix. But I see this more often than not when I'm working with clients. They've already spent hundreds of dollars on probiotics, they've tried several different brands, and every single one of them makes them feel worse. They're either more bloated, have more brain fog, or more digestive issues than they started with. And so they think, okay, probiotics are not for me. My gut is just too messed up. I'm just going to have to deal with this forever. But that's not true. The issue isn't that probiotics don't work. It's that either you're taking them at the wrong time, taking the wrong strains, or you have an underlying issue that needs to be addressed first before probiotics will actually help. So what I want you to know is that if probiotics make you feel worse, you're not broken. Your body is just trying to communicate something to you. So let's go through the 7 reasons probiotics can make you feel worse. And I'm going to help you figure out which one of these applies to you. Reason number 1, you have SIBO, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And this is probably the number 1 reason why probiotics backfire, and it's something that most people haven't even heard of. In a healthy gut, the majority of your bacteria live in your large intestine, which is right here. But with SIBO, bacteria have migrated upstream into your small intestine where they don't belong. And here's the problem. When you take probiotics, you're adding more bacteria to a place that already has too much bacteria. So instead of helping, you're just feeding the problem. Those bacteria ferment the food you eat, they produce gas in your small intestine, and that's what creates the bloating, the pain, distension, and all kinds of digestive issues. So if you have SIBO and you take probiotics, it's kind of like pouring gasoline on a fire. So here are some signs that this is your issue. Number 1, you get bloated within about 30 to 60 minutes of taking probiotics. Number 2, you get bloated after eating carbs or fiber, even healthy carbs like sweet potatoes or oats. And 3, fermented foods like sauerkraut or kombucha actually make you feel worse. Number 4, you feel relief almost immediately when you stop taking probiotics. And 5, you might have even been diagnosed with IBS, but nothing you've tried has worked. So if that sounds like you, here's what you want to do instead. You need to treat the SIBO first before you add probiotics. This usually means you're going to need some antimicrobials. Now you can go the herbal route, and there's things like oregano oil, berberine, or allicin that can help, or there's the prescription route where you can go antibiotics. And this is where you would want to get some testing done. A root cause stool test or a SIBO breath test can show you exactly what's going on and which type of antimicrobials you're going to need, so you're not just guessing. And then once the SIBO is cleared, you can start adding those probiotics back in, but very slowly. And they'll actually help you at that point instead of making things worse. Reason number 2 why probiotics might make you feel worse is called histamine intolerance. And this one's huge. It's something that most people and even a lot of practitioners don't think about. Certain probiotic strains actually produce histamine or prevent your body from breaking down histamine. So if you already have a histamine intolerance, then these probiotics can make everything worse. So the histamine producing strains include Lactobacillus casei, Lactobacillus reuteri, Lactobacillus bulgaricus, and some strains of Lactobacillus rhamnosus. And these are super common in most over-the-counter probiotics. When histamine builds up in your system, it doesn't just cause digestive issues, it causes systemic issues. So things like headaches, skin problems, anxiety, and even heart palpitations. So here's how to know if this is your issue. You get headaches or migraines after taking probiotics. You notice skin flushing, hives, or rashes. You feel anxious, jittery, or you get a racing heart. Your seasonal allergies get worse. And fermented foods make you feel terrible. Things like wine, aged cheese, sauerkraut, and kombucha. Also, your symptoms aren't just digestive. They're all over your body. So if this is you, what you want to do is choose histamine degrading probiotics instead. These are strains that will actually break down the histamine instead of producing it. The best ones are Bifidobacterium infantis, Bifidobacterium longum, and certain strains of Lactobacillus plantarum. And you also need to support your body's ability to break down histamine. That's done by an enzyme called DAO, diamine oxidase. And you can take DAO supplements, or you can support your body's natural production by addressing your gut lining health, making sure you have enough copper and B6, and reducing inflammation. Also, you want to avoid fermented foods at least temporarily while you're working on this. I know everyone says fermented foods are amazing for gut health, but if you have histamine intolerance, they're actually working against you. Reason number 3 is called die-off reaction, or also known as the Herxheimer reaction. This one's actually a good sign. It means that things are working, but it can feel terrible in the moment. When you introduce good bacteria into your gut, they start to crowd out the bad bacteria. And as the bad bacteria die, they release toxins, endotoxins, lipopolysaccharides, all kinds of inflammatory compounds into your system. Your liver then has to process all of these toxins, and that can cause the Herxheimer reaction, or you might hear it called Herx reaction for short. Here's how to know if this is your issue. Your symptoms will start maybe 2 to 5 days after you start taking the probiotics. You get flu-like symptoms like fatigue, headache, brain fog, or body aches. Your digestive symptoms get worse temporarily. You may have nausea, diarrhea, or more gas. The symptoms will then peak and gradually improve over the next 1 to 2 weeks, so you feel worse before you feel better. If that sounds like you, first off, just know that this is a sign that the probiotics are actually working. Your body is clearing out the bad stuff. But you can support the process and make it less miserable by, number 1, starting with a much lower dose. You can open up the probiotic capsule and take just a quarter or a half of it and work your way up slowly over several weeks. Next, you'll want to take binders to help you clear those toxins. Things like activated charcoal, bentonite clay, or a product called GI Detox can help absorb those endotoxins so your liver doesn't have to work so hard. Just make sure that when you take these binders, you're taking them at least 2 hours away from any food, supplements, or medications. Next, support your liver by drinking lots of water, eating cruciferous vegetables, or consider supplements like milk thistle or NAC. And finally, go slow. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If you're having severe die-off, it means you need to slow down, not push through. And honestly, if you're getting severe die-off from probiotics, that probably means you need antimicrobials first. You might have a significant overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria, and you need to clear that out before adding probiotics. Reason number 4, you're taking the wrong strains for your situation. Not all probiotics are created equal. Different strains do completely different things. Some are better for diarrhea, some for constipation, and then some are better for immune function or mental health. And taking the wrong strain for your specific issue could make things worse. So here are some common mismatches. If you have constipation, then avoid bifidobacterium strains in high doses. They can slow motility even more. A better one for you would be the Lactobacillus plantarum, which supports motility and regularity. If you have diarrhea, then you want to avoid high doses of lactobacillus. They can speed up motility too much. A better one for you is Saccharomyces boulardii. This is a beneficial yeast, not a bacteria, or bifidobacterium strains. And then if you have methane-dominant SIBO, then you want to avoid most standard probiotics. It would be better for you to try very specific strains like certain Bifidobacterium longum that have been shown to reduce methane. So that's why it's so important to understand what's actually going on in your gut before just taking a random probiotic from the store. Okay, reason number 5 is called D-lactate overproduction. This one's less common, but when it does happen, it's very debilitating. Certain lactobacillus strains produce something called D-lactic acid. Most people can metabolize D-lactate just fine, but some people, especially people that have SIBO, leaky gut, or certain genetic variations, can't process D-lactate efficiently. And when D-lactate accumulates in your system, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and causes neurological symptoms. Here's how to know if this applies to you. You get severe brain fog, confusion, or difficulty concentrating after taking probiotics. You kind of feel like you're drunk or disoriented, like you're in a fog. You feel extremely fatigued and weak. Your digestive symptoms might be mild, but your neurological symptoms are severe. Or you have a history of SIBO or other gut issues. So if this sounds like you, what you want to do instead is avoid high-dose multi-strain lactobacillus probiotics and choose bifidobacterium dominant formulas instead. Bifido strains don't produce D-lactate. You can also consider soil-based probiotics, which are a completely different category and tend to be better tolerated by people with complex gut issues. And again, if you have SIBO, you need to address that first. And reason number 6 is you're taking them on an empty stomach. This is a very simple one, but it does matter. If you take probiotics on an empty stomach, they have to pass through your stomach acid with no protection, and stomach acid kills a lot of probiotic strains. That's its job, is to kill bacteria. So a lot of the bacteria dies before it even gets to your intestines. And when bacteria die, they release endotoxins, which can cause symptoms. So if that sounds like you, here's what you want to do instead. First, take your probiotics with food, ideally with a meal that has some fat in it, because fat helps protect the bacteria as they pass through your stomach. You can also choose spore-based probiotics, which are naturally resistant to stomach acid and don't need to be taken with food. Brands like Megaspore Biotic or ProbioSpore are spore-based. Or you can choose probiotics with delayed release capsules that protect the bacteria from your stomach acid. And reason number 7 is quality issues. This is a huge problem with probiotics, especially the cheap ones you find on Amazon or at the grocery store. Studies have shown that a lot of these products don't actually contain the strains they claim to, or the bacteria are already dead, or they're contaminated with other bacteria, mold, or allergens. And when you're taking a probiotic that's contaminated or inactive, you're not getting any benefit, you're just getting inflammation and symptoms. That's why you always want to use practitioner-grade probiotics. The brands I often recommend for my clients are Designs for Health, Seeking Health, or Pure Encapsulations. These companies do third-party testing to verify that what's on the label is actually in the bottle, and they guarantee potency through the expiration date, not just at the time of manufacturing. Yes, they can be more expensive, but they actually work, and honestly, if you're spending money on probiotics that don't work, that's way more expensive in the long run. Also, make sure to read the bottle to see if it needs to be refrigerated, and always check your expiration dates. So what should you do if probiotics make you feel worse? Number 1, stop taking the probiotic. Don't push through if your symptoms are severe. Your body is giving you information, so make sure to listen to it. Step number 2 is assess your symptoms. Are they purely digestive? If you're getting gas, bloating, or abdominal pain, it could be SIBO, wrong strains, or die-off. If your symptoms are neurological, like brain fog, anxiety, or headaches, then it could be histamine or D-lactate. If they're systemic, like skin issues, fatigue, or body aches, then it could be histamine or die-off. So the type of symptoms tells you what's going on. Next, when do your symptoms appear? If it's immediate bloating, like within an hour or so, then it's likely SIBO or histamine. If you get flu-like symptoms 2 to 5 days later, then it's likely die-off. And if symptoms show up 1 to 2 weeks later, it could be the wrong strain for your needs. And if your symptoms linger for days after stopping, then it's likely D-lactate or histamine. Step 3 is consider testing. A specialized stool test can show if you have SIBO, dysbiosis, pathogenic bacteria, parasites, or inflammation markers that need to be addressed first. But even if testing isn't right for you right now, you can still make progress. Step 4, try a different approach. So instead of probiotics, you can try prebiotic foods first. These are things like garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas. These will feed your good bacteria that you already have without adding more bacteria to the system. You can try soil-based probiotics. These are a completely different category. They're spore-forming bacteria from soil, and they tend to be much more tolerated by people with complex gut issues. They're spore-forming bacteria from soil, and they tend to be much better tolerated by people with complex gut issues. You can also try taking Saccharomyces boulardii. I'll include a link to that below this video. This is the beneficial yeast I mentioned earlier. So it's not bacteria, it works differently. It's incredibly helpful for diarrhea, immune function, and crowding out pathogenic yeast like Candida. And it doesn't cause the same issues that Lactobacillus and Bifido strains can cause. Also try bone broth and fermented foods in tiny amounts. Start with 1 forkful of sauerkraut and see how you feel, then work your way up slowly. If fermented foods make you worse, that's also telling you something. So it might be histamine intolerance or SIBO. Step 5 is go slower. If you decide to try probiotics again, just start with 1/4 of the dose, open up the capsule, mix it with food, and take just a small amount. And then work your way up over weeks, not days. Step 6, you always want to address the root cause first. So if you have SIBO, leaky gut, severe dysbiosis, or chronic infections, you may need antimicrobials before taking probiotics. Or you may need to repair your gut lining first or address histamine intolerance. Probiotics are an important part of gut healing, but they're not always the first step. And that's exactly what we walk through in the 5-day gut reset challenge inside my community, the Aligned Feminine. We go through the 5R framework: remove, replace, reinoculate, repair, and rebalance. So that way you're addressing every piece of the puzzle in the right order. Day 3 is when we talk about reinoculation, and I share exactly how to introduce probiotics and fermented foods in a way that supports healing instead of making things worse. And I give you practitioner-grade supplement recommendations with discount codes, so you're not wasting money on products that don't work. Now, if probiotics have made you feel worse, I just want you to know you're not broken. Your gut isn't too far gone, and you don't have to just accept that this is how you'll feel forever. Your body is giving you information, and when you listen to that information and address what's actually going on underneath, probiotics can become an incredibly helpful tool instead of something that makes you feel worse. And when you listen to that information and address what's actually going on underneath, probiotics can become an incredibly helpful tool instead of something that actually makes you feel worse. So if you're ready to understand what's really happening in your gut and get a step-by-step framework to heal it, join the Aligned Feminine community. We have the 5-day gut reset challenge that walks you through the complete 5R protocol, guidance on practitioner-grade supplements along with discounts, plus monthly group coaching where you can ask me questions directly. I'll drop the link to join in the description below. Remember, healing takes time, patience, and the right sequence, so be gentle on your body. It knows what it needs. And finally, get support. You don't have to figure this out alone. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more gut health content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.